Hi everybody, my name is Upasna. I hope I am visible and audible. Please let us know in the Q&A section if you're feeling or if you're having any sort of disturbances in the video or the audio input, and we will do whatever we can at our end to make sure that you have a wonderful session today. So while people are writing in, let me start out with today's topic. As you would know, today's topic is tapping away your stress. Now, I really don't need to tell you that stress is ubiquitous in our lives today, whether it's with relationships, career, with our bosses, with our family, every day on the road with traffic. I've been there, I've done that. Tapping is an incredibly simple solution with extremely powerful benefits that helps you release that stress. Tapping in jargon industry is referred to as EFT, which stands for Emotional Freedom Technique. What does that really mean? At one level, yes, it does give you freedom from the emotions that you are experiencing so that you are able to come back to a place of calm centeredness. But the second thing that it also does that I have found to be very powerful is that it actually gives you the freedom to experience your emotions rather than keep them within the body. So researchers over the years have found that whenever we have any experience in life, whether we have an outward emotional or mental reaction to it, whether we have a subconscious response to it, whether we take any action or we are inactive, all of those experiences we start to store within the body, within the cells of our body. So there must be a way, if we are storing all of that, to release all of that pressure, which is what stress is, instead of blowing up like a pressure cooker. What is tapping? Specifically, it takes you through 9 pressure points across the body. You tap away at those 9 pressure points, and that helps you to release all the cortisol, all the stress hormones, all the toxins, and more importantly, all the emotions that you have been bottling up that you may not even be aware of. Why 9 pressure points? This again, there has been a lot of research. The founder of EFT, all the people who have used EFT, have boiled down all the pressure points that exist on the body and have found that these 9 pressure points that start from the top of your head, all the way down over your face, through your chest, to the side of your body, this is where we store the maximum amount of stress. If we're able to release it from this torso, we are able to have a much easier experience of life. So let me take you through what these 9 pressure points are, and then I will take you through a demo of an everyday situation that you face and how would you go about using these. So when we talk about tapping, we are actually talking about tapping on a particular pressure point. So the first pressure point that we have is on the top of the head. So you may want to put your fingers together. You may want to use 4 fingers very lightly or 2 fingers. You can use both your hands, one hand. It really doesn't matter. It is about being comfortable, having the experience of the tapping, right? So you find the top of your head and you start tapping away. You can use all your 5 fingers. That's what I like to do. You may find that a lot of people actually do this at a very regular basis. You know, when you feel really stressed and you push your hair back and you want to hold your head, it's a very natural body response. So tapping away at the top of your head, please do tap along with me. You will start to, if you're sensitive enough, you may start to realize that the top of the head is where the brain starts to release all the cortisol that it has been holding and all the hormones that it has been holding. Right, so that's point number 1. Please ensure that you're not bruising yourself. At the same time, you should be tapping strongly because we are talking about releasing. We're not talking about stroking. Right? The second point is the eyebrow point. So that's where the top of the eyebrow meets the bridge of your nose. So right above the top of your eyebrow, you can take 2 fingers on both sides of the face and start tapping away. This, for people who are experienced, will tell you this is close to your third eye. Again, don't bruise yourself, but be firm with your tapping so that you're able to feel the fingers against the bone. This is point number 2, which is also called the eyebrow point. The third point moves right alongside the eye to the side. This is called the side of the eye point or the temple point. And you can start tapping away at your temple. Again, you can use both sides of your face, You can use any one side. So even if you, let's say you have started out tapping on one side for one point and you want to switch over in the middle to another point, that is still fine because the body will compensate for you. Do whatever it is that you feel comfortable with. If your arm is hurting, pick the other arm. The body is not really going to discriminate against you. So this is the point that we are at right now, the temple point. This, you will notice, is where people store a lot of the stress that then comes out in the body as migraines and headaches, and, lack of water, dehydration. All of this is stored over here. Now we move down towards the bottom. This is called under the eye. This is where the eye socket meets the cheekbone, and you can start tapping away at precisely that bone point where you can feel the cheekbone. Right? For women, this is where you apply your blush. So if it helps for you to smile to get that point, start tapping away just under your eye. Be very careful when you're doing the eye tapping because you don't want to bruise your eye. If you have any sort of eye issues, please be very, very gentle with yourself. Tapping may still be recommended, but if you have, let's say, buckles in the eye, you may want to consult your physician in terms of how much pressure can you put or if pressure is even acceptable. Right? So please be very gentle with your body. Don't say I watched a video and they said this and now my eyes hurting. The next point that we go to is right under the nose or your upper lip. You can use all your 4 fingers or any 2 fingers and just start tapping away right on the upper lip. So the jaw area is really where we store everything concerned with speech, concerned with hearing, where either we have spoken harshly and now somewhere we regret it, or where we have not spoken and somewhere we know we should have said something. So this helps to release all of that tension from the jaw. Right? Just on the upper lip. Be sure that you're not bruising your gums and your teeth. But it is also actually extremely good exercise for your gums. With age, they start to get a little bit weaker. We move down to the chin. Now you can tap either the bottom of your chin. You can tap this area right under the lower lip. This is called the chin point. You don't have to be very exact about it, but don't be too lax. You don't want to run into the side of your jaw. So you do want to keep that central nervous system tapping going on for you. So this is called the chin point. Now the next one is my absolute favorite point. This is called the collarbone point. It is right where your neck reaches your chest. 3 centimeters or even 3 inches below it, you can just start to tap. What I really love to do is that I take my entire hand and I just tap away using my entire hand. This is, you may notice, something that we do for children when they're agitated or they're not able to calm down. This is an extremely calming sensation. At the same time, you may notice that every time that you do this, if you have a lot of bottled up emotions, they get bottled in your heart. So this starts to release all those emotions from your heart space. So while you're doing this collarbone tapping, if you start to have a lot of emotional reactions, that is perfectly fine. In fact, you should be having some amount of a reaction because that's a good way that your body is letting you know I'm releasing all of these emotions that I have stored up and all of these thoughts and memories that are coming up. I'm trying to release them. This point, I like to use it all by itself also sometimes when I'm just too agitated and I want to calm myself down. So like a little child, I tell myself it's okay, all is well. Your last 9th point is towards the side, right towards the side of the rib cage. And you can start tapping away at either side, either your right or your left. Doing both sides together is rather uncomfortable. So pick any one side, whichever is comfortable, whichever hand you feel is convenient for you. Like I said, if your hand does get tired, you can switch over to the other side. It really doesn't matter. Your body will compensate for it. So these have been the 9 points. The top of the head, the eyebrow point, the side of the eye, under the eye, upper lip, chin, the collarbone, and the side of the arm. Right? Now that we have gone over these 9 pressure points and we have understood that this is the torso area is where we hold the maximum amount of stress that we experience that we actively want to release from the system. Everything else, the body will start to flush down from the top of your head down through your body. It will take over all your natural channels, all the lymphatic nerves, etc., and start to push it down across your system. So it's a good practice to, once that you have finished one round of 9, if you want to relax, take a deep breath, allow your body to feel all the toxins releasing, allow all your parasympathetic nerves to come back into alignment so that they are able to bring down your stress levels and bring you into a state of centeredness. Please do remember to hydrate yourselves because what this does is that it releases a lot of toxins, and when we drink a lot of water, we are able to flush them out very naturally rather than having radical reactions within the skin or within the bones or muscles, or even have any kind of muscle fatigue that may set in if you're not properly hydrated. Okay, so we've gone through the 9 points, but how do I use this on a daily basis? So I want to take an example, and this is something that I used when I was back in the corporate gig. Project deadlines used to be intense for me. So the boss would commit something to a client, and they would say, yeah, we will finish it in 2 weeks. And I would know within me, I really don't know how I'm going to finish it in 2 weeks. Given a chance, I really like a longer deadline. I would like more people, I'd like more money, etc. So the first focus is, what are you feeling? Not what has happened. Now, I can't tap away some situation that has occurred. I can't tap away something that somebody else has said. The only thing that I can tap away is what I am feeling. So that the less that I am feeling a negative emotion, and I am able to come back to a center, I am then able to align myself, my body, my mind, my spirit and my heart to understand, okay, if this is what is going on, what is the solution? Is there something that I can tell my boss? Is there something that I can do? Are there people that I can ask help from? But all of these ideas, all of this creativity or inspiration, or just the thought that yes, I can handle it, that's not going to come if we're in a state of overwhelm. So I want to address this as a particular example, and then we can figure out how to use it for various different examples. So the first thing that I have is I am feeling overwhelmed. Now I rate myself on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being I'm feeling ecstatic, 1 meaning I'm really down in the dumps. So let's say my state of overwhelm is around a 6 out of a 10. Okay? So that's just to give me a quantitative idea of how I'm feeling, so that after I have finished the entire tapping process, I can re-evaluate to understand has it worked, or do I need a little bit more tapping away to release all of the stress that I'm facing. So I'm feeling an overwhelm at a scale of 6 over 10. Now the first thing that we do is that we identify one extra point, which is called the karate chop point. Right? This is on the side of the hand, right below the pinky finger. This activity is called a setup. What's a setup? We say these sentences. So say this with me out loud. You can say it mentally, but its power is phenomenal when said out loud. So while you're tapping away at this karate chop point right below your pinky finger, say out loud, even though I'm feeling overwhelmed, I wholly and completely love and accept myself. And repeat this twice more. Even though I'm feeling absolutely overwhelmed and I don't know what to do, I wholly and completely love and accept myself. Repeating it once more. Even though I'm feeling so overwhelmed that I am on a scale of 6 over 10 and this feeling is rotten, I wholly and completely love and accept myself. Take a deep breath. This is called the setup because we're telling ourselves, I am allowing myself the freedom to feel this emotion. I'm not saying I'm bad for feeling it. I'm acknowledging that this is how I feel. That's the first step. The second step, we start to release it from the body at the pace that the body allows us to do. So we take a few seconds at each point, 4 to 5 seconds. If you want to stay for 7 to 8 seconds, that's perfectly fine. It depends on, whether your arm is comfortable tapping away at all of these 9 points for that long. If you're having a shorter time span at each point, then make sure that you run through the 9 points over and over again for maybe 5 to 6 loops. Right? So while we are tapping away, we're again going to verbalize. I'm feeling overwhelmed. And you may notice a lot of things come up in the body. Your heart may start fluttering, your eyes may start watering, you may feel, I really don't want to do this. Sometimes it can happen that the entire emotion just bubbles out of the surface. Because we have gone through life suppressing so many emotions and saying, it's okay, I will handle it somehow. Just for now, I will handle it and then I will see about it later. Well, there is no later, because the later, when you get to a later, you get to a burnout. So we really want to avoid that, and we want to get to a place where you can get a solution from a place of calm, where we're not screaming at somebody or not where we're shut down. So while we're tapping away at each point, we verbalize, I'm feeling overwhelmed. And we move on to the next point, the eyebrow point, I'm feeling overwhelmed. If you feel like crying, you feel like laughing, you feel like jumping all over the floor, that's perfectly fine. If you're in a public space, you may not obviously want to do that. But in the privacy of your home, in the privacy of your room, go ahead and give yourself the freedom to feel that emotion. Then we move on to the side of the eye, and again we verbalize, I'm feeling overwhelmed. And it is perfectly normal, because we've already set up with the Karate Chop point that even though I'm feeling overwhelmed, I wholly and completely love and accept myself. We move on to under the eye, and again verbalize, I'm feeling overwhelmed. Now, if the overwhelm is not too much, you may find that somewhere during looping, either when you're going through the entire 9 points over and over again, the emotion can start shifting. You may say, I don't really want to use the word overwhelmed because that's not what I'm feeling anymore. But let's say I'm feeling frustrated, and that feels a little bit more like how I'm feeling right now. So you can switch that up based on whatever comes up for you, whatever emotion or image comes up for you, moving on from a point to the next point, which is the upper lip point, and saying, I'm feeling frustrated. And you can feel free to emote your frustration. I'm feeling frustrated. And continue tapping away. So you're allowing the body and all the cells to feel that emotion, to bring that emotion up, and then to release it. That's what the tapping is doing. It's releasing all of those emotions. The next point is the chin point. And again, we verbalize, I'm feeling overwhelmed, I'm feeling frustrated. Always concentrate on how you're feeling, what you're thinking. It's not about what other people have done. It's not about what you want them to do. It's only about you and how you are allowing yourself to come back into a state of calm. After the chin point, the next point is your chest or the collarbone point. I'm feeling very frustrated. Now, if you've run through the entire, of course, we've gone through it only once, but if you've been running through the entire 9 points over and over again, let's say for 4 or 5 loops, you'll find that over time, your breathing comes back to normal. You're able to find a certain sense of lightness, more positivity, more happiness. It may not be ecstatic, but at least you're coming back to some level of equilibrium. And the last point on the side of the arm, I am feeling overwhelmed and frustrated. Right? Just tapping away everything that the body needs to release, all the toxins, all the cells that have got bunched up together, and just so that they can release and relax. So, like I said, go through multiple loops of them, 4 or 5 loops, and then take a breathe. So take a deep breath now that we've gone through one loop. Allow yourself to settle. Just observe what your body is doing. Observe what your cells are doing on your face and on your chest, because this is where we have done a lot of the tapping. And now rate yourself on that scale once again, on that scale of 1 to 10. Where are you now? So I started this example at a 6. I think I'm inching more towards an 8, 8.5, close to a 9. I'm not extraordinarily ecstatic. It's not the happiest day of my life. But for me, an 8 is an excellent starting point to say, okay, now let me look at this project that I need to complete, to bring all my logic together, to bring all my creativity together, and from that space of lightness to say, okay, now what can I do? So you will find that the more that you have practice and the more that you have experience, the more that you obviously talk to professionals who do deal in EFT, they will lead you through longer and more in-depth an exercise of tapping, which will help you have long-term benefits, so that every time that you are feeling any kind of a stress, and even if you're not able to put a name for it, a professional or any kind of an experience that you yourself have through self-learning, you will be able to find a lot more lightness, a lot more happiness, and a lot more joy. And let's face it, we make much better decisions when we are happy and joyful, and we love the work that we do, and we love the people that we are around.